35, 30, I guess. Yeah, what are you lot saying, man? Let me scroll up before we get into the latest news. Yeah, man, I feel a lot better, man. Got all my Arsenal thoughts off my chest in relation to this game. Any nerves? Unsurprisingly, no. Like, I'm normally nervous. But what shall be, shall be. If we win, we win. If we lose, we will learn from it. If we draw, it is what it is. You know, what shall be, man. The future brings uncertainty. The past brings regret. No time like the present, man. It just is what it is. I do hope that, you know, the players give confidence to Arsenal. But same way, if it goes the way we want it to go, and there's a spanner in the works, like let's say we have a strong opening 20 minutes. If Spurs, what we see in football, Spurs get one chance and score against the run of play, don't let your heads drop. You never conceded a goal in football before. There's no anyone who's feeling sorry for themselves, anyone that can't get their nerves in check, anyone who doesn't want victory, anyone that doesn't believe they should be in that starting 11, any striker, winger, midfielder, keeper, anyone in that starting 11 or squad that doesn't believe they can contribute or get victory tomorrow, win their individual battles, tell Mikel Arteta and stay at yard. Or, you know, I don't know, has Gabriel got a nanny for his young one? You know, his wife probably be at the game, and all the other kids that the players have, let you go be a nanny. Everyone that wants to play football, make sure you turn up. It's an early kickoff as well. Make sure you get your hours, your suitable hours sleep. Make sure you get a proper breakfast. You know, Arsenal chefs. If Spurs are stupid enough to eat from us, if you could put 1-2 laxatives in that, then you get me. We're living in it. But yeah, man, agendas have to start, man. Mitrovic caused issues, so Kane will be a test for these centre backs. I mean, it's the Premier League. You're gonna have tests, you know. Kane's a good player, Mitrovic is a good player. You're gonna have that. There's no shit players in the Prem. Even the players that we think are shit are problems. Apart from the fact they have a world-class manager. Yes, 24 hours till the North London derby slappings. It's going to be a long afternoon for you, man. Riley, cool. I hope it is for your sake. Screenshot, ladies and gentlemen, we have him. Big up yourself as well, Riley. Banter aside, man. 4:30 FM settings, cup final business. DG, what's the story with Aziz? Arteta obviously don't really rate him. I don't know if Arteta does or doesn't rate him, but, you know, Miguel Aziz is not ready to contribute and be thrown into Arsenal's midfield. He's not. He's not good enough off the ball. I do like his languid movement and how comfortable he is in possession, but there's a lot more. He's not ready to play Premier League football. Neither is Brook Norton-Guffey to go get thrown in at right back, like some Arsenal fans wanted when we was around the Spurs and Newcastle games. Off the ball, neither player is ready. And already as a midfielder, you got to look at it. You're already going against the grain at most top clubs. Look at what Conor Gallagher at Chelsea has to compete with and what's projected to come in at Arsenal, whether you rate Lokonga or not. He's a Belgium international, played 76 times for Anderlecht. He's ahead of Miguel Aziz and Patino. That's why these men should have went on loan. I'd rate Patino's chances a bit higher than Aziz. And things like that. You know, you've got El Nene, who is happy to play 10 games. Xhaka is playing every week. Partey, if he plays, is every week. You've got Smith Rowe, who's injured. Odegaard, Zinchenko, Fabio Vieira, that can also take midfield positions. You're not going to get minutes. And we need top four. We're already betting on young players. You know, I think Miguel Aziz has a lot of talent. Don't think he's been dealt a nice hand with some injuries. Think he needs to be a bit more proactive. I think defensively he's improving, but off the ball where all the improvements can be made. Technically, he's got it all to have a decent career, but there's more to that than be a midfielder. And at the end of the day, you know, these men are still developing, really. You know, he's doing well over there, starting to start games now in Spain, building on the experience of a mixed loan spell at Portsmouth, but the man, they're not ready right now. I'm very confident heading into this game. I'm as confident as I see the boys play. I'm not confident. I'm not scared. It's just level heading. It is what it is, man. Like, whatever happens, score early goals and play to control the game. They haven't come at teams with their attack, but we can get at their wing backs. True, but then the gap's off the ball. Hugo Lloris and Kulusevski are out for tomorrow's game at Arsenal. Everyone besides Smith Rowe available for the game via late fitness test for Partey. I don't know. I think Hugo Lloris and Kulusevski will be there. It's mind games. I hope they're not. But even if they're not, that, you know, how many times, you know, when we beat Chelsea, when we beat Spurs, when we beat Chelsea, when we beat United, was that our strongest 11? You know, if you look at it, two of our best results over last season, Spurs at the bridge, Chelsea at the bridge, City at United at home. That was with what? Tomiyasu weren't there, Partey weren't there, Tierney / Zinchenko now weren't there. So it would obviously give me more confidence, but it's a squad game. Shout everybody tuned in as well. Big up DG. Shout out you, man. Appreciate you from Poland. Don't see many Polish people in my channel, but shout out to you lot. I'm quite nervous for this game. I'm watching you from Poland, Warsaw. I am anticipating so much from we Gunners. And please play Tierney, not Zinchenko. I hear that, man. The footy talk on Rancy's show yesterday was fire. As always, a shout out Rancy Matisse. I hope we go with a 3-4-3 formation. I wouldn't be against it, but then you have to someone that's probably in the strongest team if we're playing a back four has to get dropped. And also, are we going to kill the fluidity of our team? I'm not against a back three. I'm really not, because again, Spurs struggle to break down low blocks. If you deploy a low block, you're giving yourself half a chance, really. And Nkunku's lit, man, but he's going thingy in it, so he's irrelevant now. It's peak because it only takes 10 seconds from 90 minutes for Spurs to score their Bandulu like that. Amen. Smash the like, people. 200 likes needed one day before the North London derby. I need Tierney, Martinelli, Xhaka to cook Emerson Royal side. Again, yeah, we're probably more left-hand centric, but I'm going to need Saka, Odegaard, Jesus when he peels out, Tomiyasu or Ben White, whoever's playing there, to make some problems on the right-hand side as well, man. Really, we can't do this lopsided thing going into this game for me, man, or we're going to be in trouble. I would definitely be fine with a point with Liverpool, but if you can get 3, I'd be for it. I think everyone would. If we're ahead and it's towards the dying periods of the game, a back 3 could be considered. And again, for Mikel Arteta, one question mark people have is his deployments of subs. Again, we probably got a bit too giggity, a bit too excited, like a kid that's had sugar when in the United game, when we had that period where they were 1-0 up or something like that. We equalized and it looked like we might nick it. We showed naiveties. We made certain subs in the 73rd minute. We conceded 2 minutes later in the 75th. Arteta's got to show the bottle. Clearly, if football ends tomorrow, Conte's done more than he could ever do. Conte's walked the walk Arteta wants to. He's got considerable experience, and some of their players have it. They're going to be street smart. They're going to try rattle us. They're going to try ruffle our feathers. And I don't think the players are under any illusions what this is about. The only two competitive games Shite have played, they've dropped points. I'm confident for tomorrow. I hope so, man. Good point. But form and ish goes out the window. The only difference between us and Spurs is that we need to play well to even get a result, but Spurs don't. I just wish we were more clinical. Yeah, Jota will get his brace against us. I mean, it looks like Zinchenko's about, man. It looks like Partey's about as well. Lokonga tax is heavy. It is still. Do your thing, stylish. Spurs should have bagged Potter. Conte can leave at any time. I saw a rumor online, it's probably lies, that they might go for Ryan Mason, and you know what? That'll put Spurs back to where they belong. Shout yourself, I appreciate that. Bless up DG Fakes for the content again. Get the likes up, people. Mitrovic and Kane are 2 different players, to be fair. We just stating the obvious, clearly, but they're both 2 quality strikers. Kane backs into you and pushes you and things like that. He drops into the 10 role. He can score on his left, can score on his right, can cause problems in the air. We'll try and shoot in and around the area. The only thing Kane struggles with is free kicks, and I'm sure he scored one against Arsenal before. Like the obvious. The underlining point being, they're 2 very good midfielders. They're 2 Premier League midfielders. If you're a young centre-back, you have to come and play them games there and come out of it unscathed. And there's a couple strikers that are shitter than them at shitter clubs that will give you problems. This will be Saliba's biggest test. Everything. The biggest test is, can you keep it going, really? Everything's his biggest test. Kane, Son, Richarlison is peak if they get one counter-attack again, yeah. I'm not confident or not confident. I'm not that I'm confident, and I'm not lacking confidence. It's just, it is what it is. Spurs have got a lot of strengths. We've got a lot of strengths. They've got some weaknesses. We've got a lot of weaknesses. May the best team win. What I will ask, beyond the obvious, of course, it would be gutting to lose and it would hurt to lose. But let it be because we lost to the better team. Don't let it be because you weren't following runners. You didn't start the game well. Only 2-3 players are standing up to be counted. Other players are hiding. Winning, losing, drawing, it comes with football, innit? And no one wants to lose against rivals, but this is the game we play. You can't win them all. Just make sure you've lost in a certain way, if that is to be. Love for the super chat, my guy. Gunner down under. Shout all the Aussies. Hello, deluded. Hope you're well. Would you stick with White in the fullback position? I think he got exposed a bit against United. I'd prefer Tomiyasu due to his no-nonsense attitude. He's a bully. I mean, it's a game for the trenches. I don't think Ben White deserves to be dropped. And obviously, he's had a bit of a break now. Arteta's spoken about how he needs a break, and the demands of fullback is taking a bit of a toll on him physically. He's got the momentum in it. When you're playing good, when you're feeling good, when you're confident, that you have to capitalize on them things sometimes. So that could be a benefit for Ben White. Regardless of that, Tomiyasu is a better defender. Son's one of the best wingers in the league. You probably want one of your best defenders, or if a case, to be the best defender at the club, let alone the best fullback. So it makes sense. What I would say, Tomiyasu would be it. But if you look at the game last year, Tomiyasu and Saka switched off in the build-up for Brian Gill setting up whoever it was. So He's not perfect. Why I would put Tomiyasu? Because he's a bit more switched on. He's a bit more street smart. Even if they hit us in the counter and score, I guarantee you Tomiyasu will try a thing. Obviously, Ben White is good in the air, but I think Tomiyasu's ability to win his duels is good. So yeah, I'd be for that, man. I wonder how much we can get Louise and Bailey for in Jan. You're not getting Bailey. If I'm Arsenal, I'd rather Kulusevski plays less direct than Richarlison. Nah. I'd rather Richarlison. With Richarlison, you know what you're gonna get. He can score goals. He's probably gonna be offside for 90% of the game. He's on the rattle thing. Clearly, Richarlison can score goals and did it for Brazil. But Kulusevski is more of a cunt in a nice way. Pardon my language. He's an Arsenal player in a Spurs shirt. He comes off the flanks. He's got a mercurial left foot. He plays little neat 1-2s. He's a problem in around goals. He's got more dimensions to his play, really and truly. Richarlison's more of a battering ram. I would like Richarlison in my squad, to be fair. He's one of them players you hate if you play against him, but you love at your team, really. I'd rather not play against Kulusevski, if I'm honest with you. He's one of the only players that isn't really rigid in a rigid Conte setup. Big up the Kenyans. I don't think it would be cowardly to change formations. It says that a formation is as brave or cowardly as you want. Against again, a manager's damned if he do, damned if he doesn't. But that's been one of my issues for Mikel Arteta. I've said this in relation to the Crystal Palace game last season where we lost. I said this in relation to the United game. Sometimes you need to change. Sometimes actually, when you're in a losing run, you need to keep things the same. Sometimes when you're winning, you need to change things. I don't necessarily am advocating to change the squad or change the formation, but you've got to be a bit more switched on. We went to United still with Zinchenko doing his thing and a couple of the midfielders, and we rocked up and it was nonsense. So you do need to change things. I wouldn't say it's cowardly, If he doesn't change things and people sit here and say he should have changed things, it moves from cowardly to he's being stubborn and an idiot. And you are damned if you do, damned if you don't. Reality is, if you change things or keep things the same, you have to win, innit? That's just the way the game goes. I wouldn't say it's cowardly, though. But I just don't. We're not going to go to a back three, in my opinion. I can't see us playing a back three tomorrow. Maybe one out of play where you see sometimes Tierney goes forward, sometimes Ben White's a bit narrow with Saliba and Gabriel, and it's somewhat a back three. You might see a thing like that, and obviously the safety belt, which is Partey in the 6, if fit, you might see something like that. But I'm not necessarily against going to a back three. I'm not necessarily advocating for it. But what I do know is you have to mitigate against Spurs' counterattacks, and you need to do something in relation to the high line. We're going to play a high line. I don't want us to stop it. But you know that you leave yourself susceptible to foot races. So make sure we're switched on defensively. You give these lot a millisecond, they will bag, and we could do the same against them. Probably why I'm leaning towards Tomiyasu playing as well. But Tomiyasu, has he got the rhythm in his legs? He went off for Japan, didn't play in their second game. We've taken our time to get him fit. Is he ready? Again, it's a good problem to have, really and truly. If we lose, you should have played Tomiyasu or whatever. But we'll have to see how it develops, really. Sorry, folks, making a timestamp. Big up you lot, man. Good, interesting talking points. Big up DG. That win percentage with Partey is telling. Over 20% drop off without him. Hope he stays fit this month. We hope and pray, but boy, I don't know. Something tells me it's going to be 2-2. Ben White shouldn't be dropped. DG, where are Spuds' weakest link? Emerson Royal. Undoubtedly. And I just think in general, they don't follow run as well. So take advantage of that. Lot cooler with 2 players and he's done for. Has been getting one-on-ones way too many times. Don't allow him to. Tierney or Zinchenko to start personally. Tierney to overload that left-hand side. I'm leaning towards Tierney. But then again, even though I'm thinking of the defending, they play a back 5. Let's just say they've got their thugs in the middle in Bentancur. Well, he's not a thug. He's a very fantastic player. And Højbjerg. Obviously, they're playing with wing backs, and if they're flat, that's a back 5. That's 3 in midfield and a back 5. Obviously, Kane's going to drop into that role. For looking at it from another point of view, maybe Zinchenko, when he does that wandering to the left with Xhaka protecting it, maybe Zinchenko wandering into midfield could give us numbers and congest that area. It should be a fantastic game, in my opinion, for the neutrals. I can't say it for Spurs fans. I can't say it for Arsenal fans. I think it's going to be filled with emotions, really. I almost wish we was just playing today, really. Deluded any youngsters you're looking forward